starting a new chapter, chapter 5, Soldiers of Defense. Now look at this picture. Here you can see this is a market and the people are wearing masks. So this is not a new sight for you because in this present situation, this is a very common sight for all of us. We are wearing masks while going into market or to the public places. Why we are wearing mask? We all know that this is to prevent the entry of germs. But this mask is able to prevent the entry of germs only up to a particular extent. But beyond that, is there any other protective mechanism in our body? Yes, our body itself have some natural mechanism or natural defense mechanisms to prevent the entry of germs. So which are those mechanisms? In this chapter, we shall learn the mechanisms, the natural defense mechanisms of our body. So first, we shall learn what is defense. Defense is the ability of body to prevent the entry of pathogens into our body. And it is also the ability of our body to destroy the germs which already entered into our body. So we have some natural defense mechanisms. It can be divided into two. One is defense mechanism in our body include body coverings and secretions and also body fluids. So first, body coverings. Which are the coverings of our body which helps in defense mechanism? Yes, it include skin, then mucous membrane. Then what about secretions, body secretions? It include mucus, then tear, saliva. All these are body secretions which helps in defense mechanism. Then the body fluids which helps in defense mechanism include plasma, then blood. These are the body fluids that helps in defense mechanism. Now we shall learn the details about the defense mechanisms in our body. First we shall discuss about skin. So skin is the protective covering of our body and it prevents the entry of germs into our body.
The outer part of skin is epidermis. A protein called keratin is present on epidermis which prevents the entry of germs. Certain glands called sebaceous glands and sweat glands are present in the skin. Sebum produced by the sebaceous gland make the skin oily and waterproof. This also prevents the entry of germs into the body. Sweat is produced by sweat gland and the sweat consists of some disinfectants which destroys the germs.
Then it is mucous membrane. Just like skin, mucous membrane is also another protective covering of our body parts. And this mucous membrane secretes mucus. This mucus is a fluid-like substance. So when the pathogens get trapped in this mucus, they get destroyed. And those destroyed pathogens are removed with the help of cilia which is present on this mucous membrane. Then beyond all these mechanisms, the coverings of our body also consist of the presence of many useful bacteria. So we can say that the coverings of our body are the habitat for many useful bacteria. So when the pathogens or germs try to enter into our body, they need to fight with those useful bacteria. And in this competition, some of the pathogens or many of the pathogens get destroyed as a result of this competition. While discussing about the defense mechanisms in our body, I already told you that it includes body coverings and body secretions. So we already discussed about body coverings. Now we shall see which are the body secretions that helps in defense mechanism. So we know that tear and then sweat is a body secretions that helps in defense mechanism. Not only tear and sweat, there are also some other secretions which helps in defense mechanism. So let us see which are those secretions.
Earwax in ear, lysozyme in tears, mucus in nose, lysozyme in saliva, mucus in trachea, HCl in stomach, mucus in intestine, lysozyme in urine. All these are the body secretions that prevent the entry of pathogens into our body.
We also studied that along with body coverings and secretions, body fluids include plasma and blood also helps in defense mechanism. So in blood, we know that it consists of red blood cells and white blood cells. So among this, the white blood cells plays the major role in defense mechanism. So white blood cells can be divided into different types. So the white blood cells include different types: neutrophil, basophil, eosinophil, monocyte and lymphocyte. So each of these white blood cells have different functions in defense mechanism. So first it is neutrophil. Then what is the function of neutrophil in defense mechanism? First look at the structure of neutrophil. The function of neutrophil is that it helps to engulf the pathogens which enter into body, and also it produces some chemicals that helps to kill those pathogens. Then the next one is basophil. Now look at the structure of basophil. The function of basophil is that it stimulates the other white blood cells, dilates the blood vessel. Then the next one is eosinophil. So the function of eosinophil is that it produces the chemicals which helps in destroying the germs, and also it produces the chemicals for inflammatory actions. Then the next one is monocyte. The main function of monocyte is that it engulfs the germs and then it destroys the germs. Then last it is lymphocyte. It also destroys the germs, but the specialty is that it can identify the germs specifically and they will destroy them. Children, now we shall discuss about inflammatory responses. So we know that when a part of our body get wounded or when a wound occur in our body, that particular part swells up. So what is the reason for that? The reason is because of inflammatory response. So how inflammatory response takes place? Let us draw a diagram and study how it takes place. So children, this is our skin and this is the blood vessel. So when a wound occurs on our skin, what happens is that area swells up. isn't it? So this area swells up just like this. So what may be the reason for that? When a wound occurs on our skin, the pathogens can easily enter into the body through this wounded region. And when a wound occurs, we know that normally some of the cells in this region may get destroyed, isn't it? So those destroyed cells produces some chemicals. So these chemicals helps to dilate blood vessel. So dilate means the blood vessel in this region enlarges like this, so that more blood cells can reach near the wound site. So when the blood vessel swells up, more white blood cells reaches here and it moves out and reaches near the wounded site. So just like this, moves out and reaches near the wounded site. And then after, this white blood cells can engulf and destroy the germs which enters through the wounded part. So as a result of all these changes, the inflammation occur at the wounded region and those region swells up.